Flight attendant to her fully upright and locked position. Oh, wait a minute.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seat and buckle up. Seat backs and tray tables in their full upright position. It's another episode of Skip Happens. A view from 30,000 feet. From the first music lesson to the first paid gig to signing the deal, it's the journey that is the life of an artist. Now, here's your captain and co-captain, a.k.a. your hosts, Skip Clark and Deb Lamphear.
She's not here. Deb is not here, but, and usually we talk to, like, country music artists. We talk to an artist, but everybody's an artist in their own right, in their own way. So we're giving it a little bit of a different turn tonight with my coworker, my co-host. He's right up there. I'm like tickling his chin. I don't know. That's my friend Justin Miller. I know, really, seriously.
Great to be here, Skip.
Thank you for joining me as always. And we have a great guest tonight. I like it. I found out she's like a neighbor. Had no idea. Found out that she works right over there. Had no idea. But what I do know is that she's a journalist. She's a singer. She's a broadcaster. She's a TikTok enthusiast. She's an on-field host for the Syracuse Stallions, and she loves Morgan Wallen.
All of those are very true.
Well, you can thank Justin. He did a lot of background for me, so I was writing notes down. Teagan, how are you? Teagan Brown, everybody.
I'm amazing. Thank you so much for having me on.
It's so good to hear you, to have you on, and to talk to you. You're a junior at SU, is right?
Yep, I am.
Okay, are you part of the Newhouse program?
Yeah, so I'm a double major in broadcast and digital journalism, which is in Newhouse, and then I also major in history, which is in Maxwell.
Wow. How do you do that?
I ask myself that every day.
But you're doing it, and you're a junior, so not much further to go. That's great. But tell us a little bit about you and what you're doing. Now, I said you're a journalist, and I know Citrus TV is part of Syracuse University, and you're a reporter for Citrus TV. Is that correct?
Yeah, so Citrus TV is a completely student-run TV station.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a reporter, an anchor, a programming director. I do pretty much everything I can there. I spend probably 60% of my time in that TV studio.
Wow. That's crazy. Now, we were talking before you went on with the lights and the microphones. You're going to be covering like the opening of Syracuse baseball coming up here pretty quick, right?
Yeah, it's actually a little bit of a throwback, a nice redo for me, because I covered this last year as somebody who didn't really know much about broadcasting at the time. So this year I'm glad to be back covering it again. I'm super excited to do it, and that's Tuesday night.
Now, is this part of you what you need to do for Newhouse, or do you do this on your own?
This is completely on my own. So, like I said, it's student run. You're not required to do it, but the people who do it at Syracuse, they go really far. It's something that you can't really get anywhere else.
Mm-hmm. And why did you pick this line of work, journalist?
I heard about broadcasting from somebody that I used to know. I saw them do it. I saw how much they enjoyed it. And I just kind of thought about what that would be for me. I performed my entire life doing musical theater, doing, singing, dancing, acting, all of it. And to me, broadcasting was just the way to go into the future and have a career still performing without doing that aspect.
Now, Teagan, you've done an awful lot of broadcasts and things, and you're always posting something on your Twitter account, which I would welcome you to share that at some point soon. What would you say your favorite thing to cover has been in the short period of time that you've been working for Citrus TV?
I actually recently we've been able to cover crunch games, and I never really knew a lot about hockey until recently, but I've covered a few games now. I was just in Utica the other night covering it, and I just love being there. I love the thrill of the game. I love seeing the fans reacting. I like talking to the players after, whether, they're disappointed from a loss or they're super excited from a win. I just like that live. It's happening right there. People are reacting, and it's just so great to cover it and tell those stories.
It's loud and it's fun.
Yes, it is very loud, very fun. And I've covered some loud events in my time at Citrus, and those are the hardest ones to cover. So.
Wow. That's amazing. Now, you're not working with the crunch, but you cover the crunch.
Yeah, so I
Yeah,
covered
okay.
a Crunch Americans game last week, and then I just covered a Crunch Comets game in Utica this weekend.
I was going to ask you about the Americans. I know the Rochester team, I think, is in competition for a playoff spot right now. So I was just kind of wondering if you were, and obviously you were at a game last week, you said so.
Yeah,
How
yeah, no,
exciting.
the Crunch beat the Americans last week, and then
Yes.
Utica followed them. So
Now I don't think we've won a game against Utica.
we've won 3 games against them. We've lost 10.
All right. That's not very good.
No, not at all.
Maybe next year.
Not even a little.
Talk
Now,
to us.
Teagan,
Oh, go ahead, Justin. Sorry.
you do cover a lot of games for the Crunch, but you also cover a lot of games for the Syracuse Stallions. I would love for you to elaborate on your
Please.
role with them.
Yeah, so I found out about the Stallions this year. I didn't even know the TBL was a thing. It's the Basketball League TBL. I emailed the general manager, Mike Sugamasto, and I said, hey, I'm super interested in getting involved. I don't want to do play-by-play, but I want to get involved with the Stallions. How can I do that? And he offered me in-game host, and I've been doing that. So I'll, do things like run games during halftime, during media timeouts, all that. But I also live tweet the entire game. I'll film a little, pre-video for my Twitter, which is at Teagan Brown, which I'm very proud of. And I'll post it on there. I've learned a lot, live tweeting that. I've learned a lot about basketball. I'll be honest, I was not a big sports fan until I got to SU when I was like, wow, like everybody covers sports here. I should probably learn like how these sports work. So I think I've gotten a pretty good grip on it. But yeah, the Stallions are awesome. They're a great organization.
Oh, I love that.
Exactly. Are you working? Did I read correctly that you work for a station in Utica, part-time maybe?
I do. I work at WUTR, WKTV
Nice.
on Mondays, so I'll be there tomorrow. I go there for the whole day. I'll film a story, usually put together a package, and I'm not there when it airs because I have to be back to Syracuse in time to anchor talking points on Citrus. So it's a lot of TV in one day, but yeah, my grandfather was a broadcaster in Utica for 60 years, so I knew everything about the area, and my news director was really good friends with him.
Now, you say your grandpa was a broadcaster there. Was it radio or was it television?
He did both. So my grandfather had a show called Twistorama in the 60s and 70s. And then he had his own radio show for, I don't even know how long. I think he retired when I was like 11, but it was Coffee and Toast with Hank Brown. And yeah, he talked about video every single day.
That could be a podcast name.
That could.
It totally could.
Coffee and Toast. And talking about that, you did a podcast for a little bit, but other things kind of took over. But what was that about?
It was called Small Business Bounties. I talked to small businesses in the area and some even a little bit outside of the area, and especially ones that had popped up during the pandemic because, people were stuck in their house. So they came up with things. I talked to 2 people who started a tie-dye shirt business, and they branded them and they sold them, and they sold a bunch of them, and people just loved buying them. They loved making them, and it took up their time while they were trapped in their houses.
And if that's not everything, you are also involved in radio as well too.
Yeah.
Where does she find the time?
I am asked that all the time. I don't know how I find the time, but I want to do everything I can. So yeah, I work at Z89, your party station, Z89. I didn't know it was student run until I got to Syracuse. Like, I've lived here my whole life. I've listened to Z89. I would never know it's student run, but yeah, I do the Z Morning Zoo on Thursdays, so I get to get up at 5 a.m. to get ready for the show. Yeah, and I'm the news director there, so I'm in charge of our entire news department, 3 shows, news updates that are going to be started soon. And yeah, I love doing radio. It's just, you can talk about, whatever you want. It's relaxing. It's just, it's fun. It has music. It's everything I could want.
Yep, exactly. And Z89 really doesn't, I might be wrong. I know back in the day, though, they were they'd play almost anything,
Yeah,
and everybody
Z89 is a crazy past.
Yeah, it does. And that's maybe a story for another time, but it definitely was, it was a great thing. And a lot of people, went through Z89 and through Newhouse, went on to be, we were talking about Scotty McFarlane. Now he's on a major network. I worked with Scotty years ago here in Syracuse. It's just a lot of these famous people have come, doing exactly what you're doing, Teagan, doing exactly what you're doing. Let's see here. So
I got a question.
Yes.
How do you manage it all? What's your tip on fitting it all in?
I would say my biggest tip, and it's something that saved me over and over again, is Google Calendar. I put everything in there, and I put a 30-minute warning of you have this in 30 minutes. So, one time my boyfriend and I were at the mall. I was like, yeah, I have nothing the rest of the day. It's fine. And we're coming down the escalator, getting ready to go to another store, and my phone buzzes, and it's Z89 exec meeting in 30 minutes. And I'm like, oh no. Oh no. To rush to that. But yeah, if I didn't have those notifications, I would probably miss half the things that I have to go to.
But Absolutely. You're right. You do it now. Do it now while you're young and you're learning. You're in college. You're off to a great start. Do it while you can, because somewhere there's going to be something in there that's going to lead you on a path to the right thing. Whether it's, doing your TV journalism, whether you're on air as a radio personality, whether you're doing a news broadcast on air, whether it's radio or TV. I mean, you're doing it all now. But I'm sure eventually it's going to narrow down and you're going to have a path. So, yeah. Very cool. Very cool. Tell me about, they say you're a TikTok enthusiast. And I heard that you might have met your boyfriend through TikTok.
So I am a TikTok enthusiast. I'll start with the boyfriend story. I made a TikTok recently about how I met him. And, I was talking a little bit about this with Justin, but I was playing tennis one day, just by myself on the court. This kid rides up on a bike and asks if I want a partner, says he knew who I was, that we went to school together. And I was like, I don't know who you are, but sure, come play with me. And yeah, and we hit it off. And then there was this recent trend on TikTok where you kind of tell this crazy story of how you met your significant other. And I made a TikTok about it. It got a good number of views, not as many as my normal TikToks, but yeah, TikTok is something I love. It's something that got me into Syracuse. It's awesome.
You have had a couple of stories on TikTok that have gone viral though, correct?
Yes, I have. I actually just checked right before this. I have one that's currently at 690,000 that I made.
Holy cow.
Yeah, I made it a few weeks ago, and it was a trend, I'll admit, kind of making fun of how some teachers teach, but it's true. It was a video, it's here's my 4.0 GPA, and then it's haha, a teacher who doesn't know how to teach, just hitting it down. Because I've had some professors.
Oh my God, that's great.
So yeah, but it's called Ginger Tea News. When I started Ginger Tea News, it was 1-minute news updates, and I talked about whatever was going on in the news. I explained it to the best of my ability. I think my very first story was a dog being elected mayor in some weird city, down south. I was like, this is interesting. And yeah, I sent all those to Syracuse when I was applying to transfer, and somehow they got me in.
So, but you said you sent all those to Syracuse, but you're from Syracuse, or you sent them to Syracuse University?
I sent them to Syracuse University. Right. I used to go to another school before I went here.
Gotcha. Now you have a sister. Was she going to school in Buffalo?
She is. She's oh gosh, she's changed her major 3 times. I'll be totally honest. I don't know what she's majoring in right now. But she's studying something. Yeah, she goes there. It's a huge school. I thought Syracuse was big when I got here. And then I went and picked her up from UB one time, and it's you get off the highway and it's
nothing but yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Now I read it. How I knew that was I was reading an article about that you had to leave one day because your sister had called you and she was upset over something, which is nobody's business, but you needed to go and be with your sister. And I totally get that. But then one of your professors was like, no, not unless you get permission from whoever, whatever.
Yeah, I left at 2 in the morning, drove to Buffalo, and I thought, you know what, maybe I can make it back in time for my English class. So at 2 a.m., I put out a tweet as I'm leaving. I say, hopefully I make it back. And I go there, I take a picture with my roommate there in Buffalo, and I'm like, I can send these as proof to my professor that I had to leave and I had an emergency. And I sent them to him, and he just didn't take it. So then I decided to write an article for the Daily Orange, and it got some good feedback. The professor read it. That was a whole other issue, but freedom of speech.
It's a story for another time, or can you tell us a story for another time?
It's I
Okay.
mean, it's going on, but
I got you. So you write for the Daily Orange as well.
Yes, I'm in the opinion section there, which is fun because I can write about pretty much anything and everything.
I just love how much you're involved with. I mean, you're involved with Citrus TV, you're involved with Z89, you're involved with the Daily Orange, the Syracuse Stallions, and that TV station out in Utica. I mean, it's just it's so
amazing.
incredible. What would you say is one lesson that you've taken to heart from your years in college so far that you would want to tell to high school Teagan?
I think it's to not be worried about change. I think when I was a senior in high school, I had wanted to be a lawyer my entire life. I was going to Nazareth College for that, and I was like, this is my track. I'm not going to let anything change it. And then all of a sudden, when just like an entire career change is thrown at you, a new school, that's scary. I had never gone through anything like that. But embracing change is such a good thing. And if I didn't do that, I don't even know what I'd be doing right now. I'm sure I would still be becoming a lawyer, but the joy I've gotten from broadcasting, from journalism, from embracing that change made every single moment of, unsureness worth it. And I love it so much. I'm so grateful for everything that I'm doing.
And that's so important to love what you do. I mean,
absolutely.
it's not always about the money. It's about the passion and the excitement that you get out of what you do.
She's going into broadcasting. She cannot worry about money.
No.
I'm just saying, you got to love what you do. Justin's absolutely correct on that. And, that's obviously why I do what I do. And Justin is doing what he's doing and, keeping him in broadcasting and just, you can't worry about certain things in life. Just got to be happy. And I can tell that you're really happy and you're really enjoying, the career path that you're looking at. So that's pretty cool. And where do you see yourself like in 5 years or so? Where would you like to see yourself?
I ask myself this a lot. I really like TV. It's my passion. I love being in front of the camera and reporting on what's happening. I would like to hopefully be in a top 50, top 25 market. I love Buffalo. I love the Buffalo Bills. I would love to start out in Buffalo and be involved there, or, maybe Seattle or Washington, D.C. is the dream. But anywhere I can be getting experience and still doing what I love is okay with me.
Have you ever done an actual sports broadcast?
I actually made my sports broadcast debut a few weeks ago on ACC Network. I was an analyst for a tennis game because I played tennis all throughout high school.
Okay, that's cool.
Yep. So I enjoy it. Oh, I do sports broadcasting for ESTA Safety Park. I do play-by-play for drag racing.
Wait a minute. For ESTA,
yeah.
ESTA Safety Park in Cicero, New York.
I am their broadcaster.
And can you, but what is there? The cars go fast. The light turns green. They go fast. They're done. How do you?
It's I knew nothing about drag racing. Like I said, I really wasn't a big sports person. But last summer I became one of their 2 play-by-play broadcasters, and you give reaction times. You give, at quarter mile, eighth mile times, you talk about the drivers, you talk about their cars if they put a new engine in because you talked to them that morning about it. It's thrilling. it's so much adrenaline. It's very loud, extremely loud. I can't hear myself broadcast, and I have to make sure I'm saying.
Oh, I know it's loud. I've been to ESTA, so.
Yeah, but no, the season actually starts in a few weeks, so I'll be back there this summer. Actually, bringing a co-broadcaster from here at SU to do it with me.
Very cool.
Yeah,
very cool. What do they broadcast on? Is it an SU station or?
So right now it's just over like the speakers.
Oh, just at the park.
And then
okay.
They have a radio station that goes there, but it's only within a certain radius and it's very small. So it's basically the people that are there. This summer, what their hope is for me, since, I'm a young college kid who knows technology and broadcasting technology, they're hoping I can set up a live stream of it. Mm-hmm. So we're looking to put a camera on me and my co-broadcaster and a camera on the track with the tree, and people can watch it hopefully on YouTube and the ESTA Facebook page, and just enjoy some drag racing on their phone or on their computer.
Look, Justin, we need to take Skip Happens out there.
We do. That would be so much fun. And you know what else I have to comment on now is how both of you literally are from the same neighborhood. And you didn't realize it until we got on our pre-meeting before this, but you both are literally from North Syracuse. And I just think that it's amazing that you're connecting now. When
I'm the old guy down the street. No, I have no idea, but no, yes, we are close, and we didn't know that till we went on, and I had no idea, but come to find out, you work in an establishment that's really close to us, and that I go to quite often to watch games and have some wings and hang out. So, but it's interesting. What a small world. We find that out when we go on these podcasts. Somebody's always got a connection somewhere, somehow. It's that one piece of the puzzle. It's like, are you kidding me? I know that person, or I know where that is, or I was there yesterday. Are you kidding? Stuff like that. So.
And the first time that I met Teagan was actually almost a year ago at a presentation for my other gigs ambassador committee at the mall. And I didn't even realize that you were the same person until you mentioned that, because I obviously came across your Twitter profile, saw all the cool things you were doing, but I had totally forgotten that you had been there covering an opening that our ambassador committee was covering too at the mall, which I think is pretty cool. And you have been from Syracuse your whole life, correct?
Yeah, I've grown up in the same house in North Syracuse my whole life.
Right over there.
Right over there. Yeah.
Pretty much. You went to CNS?
I did.
Yeah, very cool. My son went there. My son graduated in 2020.
Okay, I graduated 2019, so year before.
Yeah. It's cool. Cool.
It is.
Hopefully I have that right. 2020. My wife's going to kill me. But I think it was 2020.
First year of the pandemic? Did he graduate with that whole situation?
Oh, no, it was before the pandemic.
Then perhaps it was 2019.
Perhaps it was. And perhaps it was at SRC. And perhaps it,
Yep.
My son is Down syndrome. His name is Zachary. And my son, he place went nuts when he walked across that stage. And the tears were just coming down my face. It was just, a moment. So, yeah, you must have been in the same class.
Yeah, maybe we probably were. And I actually, all of senior year, I worked with the special needs kids. I went down there every single day during lunch. And I think I know Zachary.
I think you do.
I played unified basketball with some of the kids.
Oh, my gosh. He played unified basketball. The world just got a whole lot smaller.
Skip, you got to go get him. Bring him on.
I don't know what I do with my phone. I should text him and say, come on down. Yeah, they played unified basketball.
Yep.
And the guy doing the announcing was great because he had names for all the kids. Zach, take it to the rack, Motondo.
Yes, so, if you were at those home games, so my nickname was Teagan Ginger Ninja Brown, and I sang the national anthem at almost all of the games.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have not touched on your singing.
I know that's a great
singing, because that's just another thing that you have going on. And I've watched some of your videos, and you have a lot of talent there too. How long have you been doing it?
I've been singing since I was in 4th grade. I I love performing at my old school. I was a musical theater minor, and for about 2 weeks, I was convinced to switch it to a major. The paperwork was filled out. All I had to do was sign it.
Wow.
And I struggled so much to say, no, I can't do that, because I was on my lawyer track and I wasn't ready to change my mind yet. So I continue performing. I had an audition right before the podcast tonight. So I haven't performed in a little while, like for a real performance. And I figured, you know what, I'm going to continue doing that, because while I love broadcasting and it takes up a lot of my time, I also love performing, and I want to do it.
I love that. Have you ever performed in front of any big crowds before and gotten the jitters or any of that stuff?
Yeah, actually, the North Syracuse Junior High, their auditorium is gigantic. It fits a little bit over 2,000 people.
It's huge.
And every year, the Junior High Talent Show is like one of the biggest talent shows in the district. It is the biggest talent show in the district. And I performed it at both years of junior high, 8th and 9th grade. And I remember just in 9th grade being petrified, because there were people standing both on the balcony and on the floor, like 2,500 people. And I had never sang in front of that many people in my life. I will say I would rather perform in front of 2,500 people than just like 2 people in a room.
Right.
Because they're just staring at you. It's just those 2 people.
Good point.
So yeah, it's nerve-wracking, but you put yourself in the character or in your performance, and you forget that they're all there.
I saw a note on here, Morgan Wallen. You're a big fan of Morgan's?
I am a huge fan of Morgan Wallen, and I am currently very, very sad that I don't have Morgan Wallen tickets to a show this summer. My sister has her tickets, but they were just very expensive, and I was like, I'll go do some other things. But he was my top listened to artist on Spotify this year. I've been listening to Outlaw on repeat. That's my go-to Morgan Wallen song right now. But yeah, my friends all make fun of me because nobody else listens to country. Because
you can tell them they're full of crap, because I'll tell you why. Most people will tell you they don't listen to country, but you know what? I'll bet if you get in their car and the radio comes on, one of those buttons, one of those presets is a country station. I'm just telling you. And a lot of people, for whatever reason, and I've been in the business a long time, they will not admit it, but they're closet country listeners. And it's amazing when you find out the number of people that actually listen to country. People put it down and they say, oh, it's twang, it's this. Or no, it's not. No, it is not. It's great. It's country music is about our lives. I mean, you can relate to, you hear maybe a Morgan Wallen song comes on, you go, yeah, that's me, or whatever. You know, country music's written so you can relate to it, and that's why.
And it's very healing. It is very, very healing if you've got stuff going on, and you know, that's one of the reasons why I fell in love with it.
Yep.
Yeah, my dad likes to talk about the story where I performed in a clay talent show when I was maybe 14, 15, and I sang "Temporary Home" by Carrie Underwood.
Oh wow.
And audience was crying, and it was just like so emotional, and just like singing that song, seeing, you know, the last part of it where somebody's dying in a hospital room. Like country music just tells such a story. Like people say it's, oh, cowboy boots, and like, wow, like you lost your girl, like here's my tractor. Like, no, that's not what it is. It's so much more than that. Like, sure, there's like my big green tractor and like knocking boots and like stuff like that, sure. But just these songs that tell stories, like, you know, Maren Morris tells these amazing stories in her songs. Carrie Underwood, Maddie and Tay, like all of these people are telling stories.
And they are some of the most genuine people you will ever meet in this lifetime. They are incredible human beings who have a story to tell, who want to hear your story. And every single time we've had a meet and greet with them, I've just gotten such a great impression. And I'm sure, Skip, you can relate with your CRS experiences, and and having late night drinks with some of them.
That's the country radio seminar. It's something we do every year, and it's in Nashville for 3 or 4 days. And you get to meet with all the labels and the artists, and you talk radio, you network, you find out what's going on in their lives, and how can we make it easier for them, and how can they make it easier for us? It's meetings. It's everybody from Jason Aldean to Kid Rock was there. I can go on. And then later on at night, you're playing ping pong with these guys and getting loaded. I mean, well, I shouldn't say that. Well, it's a podcast. I guess I can. And it's that's the type of people they are, though. They're friends. They're just like you and I talking here. I get them in on the Skip Happens podcast, and we'll talk all night. It's so cool. So cool. And that's the way they are. Do you know who a 100% True is? I see a little note here. They said she's stealing the show.
100% is.
Yeah, 100% is. That's
Thank
where
you,
I was going with it. Yeah, exactly. It's so cool to hear. We don't get a chance to talk to people like you all that often, and just hear what you're going through and what you're going through in a good way. Everything that you're doing, and just you got your goals. You see, you're a very intelligent woman. You know what you want out of life, and you're going for it, and you're going to make it happen one way or another. So that's cool. And you even have a relationship to go along with that. I don't know, that poor guy. Does he get any time with you? I mean, seriously. But
he has to deal with something I'll do to him is we'll be somewhere and I talk normally, like this is it. And then I'll like switch into my news voice. I'll be like, coming up on News Live at 6 tonight, the top stories. And he's like, stop it. He's like, we're in public. And I'm like, it's just so fun.
That's what we all do. You'll do that for the rest of your life. I mean, I've been doing radio for so long, and I still every once in a while, I go into whatever. So
now,
or I'm at the ballpark.
Both of you have made time for one thing from what I've seen from your posts, and it's the Buffalo Bills.
Yes, we have. He's an Eagles fan, which bit of a deal breaker, but it's fine. I've dealt with it. But we went to a Bills Jets game, and it was the second coldest game in history for the Bills. I still think I may not be able to feel my hands and feet. It's been 2 months. I've never been colder in my life. Was it worth it because we won and because we were sat down by the 50-yard line? Absolutely. So worth it. But if you think that you should only wear 3 layers, wear 5, 6.
It's crazy.
Yeah, but I became a Bills fan a few years ago, and I came to love the team. I love what they do. I love the city of Buffalo. I love how invested Josh Allen is in the city and helping the hospitals and raising money. I've never, been a fan of a team that just was that invested in their community.
What about baseball?
Baseball, I'm a Red Sox fan. Don't kill me. I know.
It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, my dad is a big Yankees fan. And
oh my Lord! How's Thanksgiving? How's Thanksgiving dinner at the house? I'm just asking.
My uncle has season tickets to the Yankees. My grandfather's a Yankees fan. My dad's a Yankees fan. I show up and I'm like, "Go Sox!" and they're like, "Get out!" So.
Well, we're a Mets fan here, Mets fan family, and also the Washington Nationals. We kind of. Because we're a big baseball family. We're big into the local team. We support the local team, but we got a lot of friends that we used to house the players here. And we got to know a lot of them. A lot of them are playing major league now, some of the big players. And even some of them are still in the minors, but we just love baseball. So when the Syracuse Chiefs were the farm club for the Washington Nationals, we got to know them pretty good. And then in 2019, they went on to be the farm club for the New York Mets. And by the way, that's the year that my son Zach was fan of the year. So that was pretty cool. And that's a part of history now because it was the first year of the Mets here in Syracuse. And they're not going anywhere for another 28 years. So
no.
So they say. So
hopefully not. I mean, opening night is this week. I'm excited. It's going to be great.
So you're going to be there covering it, you said.
I am going to be there. I will, be there filming the fans, hopefully talking to the coach, maybe some players after the game. But it's just the beginning of baseball season, being there at the first game last year, especially after COVID, it was the grand opening of the newly renovated stadium. It was awesome. People were so excited. It was such a positive environment. And, I know that's how it's going to be this year. And I can't wait to see people going in. I know this year they have local restaurants as vendors for some of the
they have 2 new ones. Yes.
Yes. They have Kyle Mastro Pietro with, I forget the name of, he has a few restaurants. I forget which one of his restaurants.
They got Danny's Steaks.
That's it. That's Danny's Steaks.
And they got Pavone's Pizza. Those are the 2 new ones this year, from what I'm being told. So
so that'll be awesome, especially, adding in the localness to it.
Absolutely. Always a good time. Dress warm, though. It's going to be cold on that concourse. And it's a night game. And we've never had opening day at night, if that makes sense. So, and they got
It'll be a bit
fireworks
harder to film. It definitely will.
Yeah. But you know what? I think they'll get a better crowd. I mean, opening day, it's always great. People get out of work to go to opening day. The kids get out of school to go to opening day. It's the way it's been in the past. So it's different this year. So now it being at night, I think they'll even get a bigger crowd. So.
Yeah, people getting off of work, going to the game, it'll be a bunch of people there, especially opening night, at night. It'll be good.
Yeah,
now
it's gonna be fun.
When Teagan isn't on TV or radio or writing things for the newspaper or covering games or anything else that I'm missing from this long list of awesome stuff that you're doing, what are some of your hobbies and things you enjoy doing?
I like playing piano a lot. I can sit down at a piano and be like, yeah, I'll play a song for 5 minutes. And all of a sudden it's 2 hours later and I'm like, oh, it's dark out. Like, and I'm still at my piano. So I love doing that. I know we talked about TikToking, it's something I do, but it is a hobby. I'm bored. I'll make 10 TikToks to put in my drafts to schedule for the next days. I like hanging out with my boyfriend, with my friends. I do a lot during the day. So usually nighttime is the time that I'm like, all right, I'll go like hang out with people. So that way they think that I like still exist and I don't just like, I'm not on their TV and that's like where I live or anything. So yeah, I like my hobbies, but my passions and my hobbies are also what I do with my job. So
when you just fall in love with something, it literally becomes like it's not even work for you. I totally relate to that.
I never knew broadcasting would be something that I did. I didn't know it was a career that you could go into. And, like I said, my grandfather did it for years. But once I saw somebody doing it and I was like, wow, that's something I can do. I was so glad that I pursued it.
Have you thought about doing any actual on-air broadcasting with one of the other stations in Syracuse? I mean, we have a whole slew of stations, with the not including the college stations. But have you thought about maybe doing some on-air work besides,
Yeah, I actually CNY Central.
Okay.
I would love to intern with them this summer. Sean Carroll's the news director there, and I've
great.
talked a lot with him. I toured CNY Central over winter break and talked to him a ton about it. So I like reporting on Syracuse. I like everything that happens here. I go to Utica and I report there, but let's be honest, like not as much happens in Utica as happens in Syracuse.
I get it. Yeah.
There's no slow news day in Syracuse, maybe except every once in a while. But I go to Utica every Monday and I'm like, what is happening in Utica today? Like, I don't know. So yeah, I love the Syracuse community, being a part of it, reporting on it.
What about radio?
Radio, I would love to do stuff around here, especially with, either of the country stations here. I love country music. I like talking about it. In fact, at Z89, for probably a month now, I have been saying, can we have a country show? Like, can I be on a country show? And I've been told no over and over again. So sadly, we won't get any of that there. So hopefully expanding to, working at one of the stations here and being able to just hear Morgan Wallen as I'm working somewhere would be nice.
We'll have to talk about this offline, Skip.
I know.
I don't know. I don't know anybody at any of these stations that, but no, that's interesting. That's why I was asking. But do you have time, for example, if somebody was to come along, just asking for a friend, and say, hey, what you want to do a shift on a weekend or something like that?
I would 100% have time. Something I'm very good at is just making time out of thin air. So I can do that.
She's done a pretty good job with it, Skip. I mean, she's,
Yeah, I'll pass that along.
Thank you.
And you get paid for it. So no, I might know somebody. I don't know. I don't
wonder who that is.
I have no idea, but we'll talk about that. You know what? Here's one thing I want to do. I don't know, Justin, if you're going to disappear or not when I click on this, but I want to put her. When you got, like, we do an air check in radio. What do you call it when you do television? You said you put a reel together, right? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's a reel. Yeah.
Okay, so Justin, you may disappear, or I may. Hang on, let's see what happens there. Oh, we're all there. Never mind. So I'm going to play this little bit. I found this online. Well, I'm going to have to pick it up from here. Here we go.
And other winter apparel to stay warm. But last night, this scene looked very different, with multiple fire trucks here and 50 firefighters at the height of the night. If you want that last slice of Acropolis pizza, you better make sure to make your way here, because pretty soon you'll have to trade in that slice for some fried chicken instead. Thousands and thousands of students are going to be flooding into these gates later today, like I said, hoping to be in that front row. There is no straight part of the track. It is continually going around, so you're not able to pick up speed just going in a straight line. You can see behind me that the Dome and Lawrenson are clearly seen. This is Duncan.
Oh my God.
And
I had to put my dog on
Green
TV.
Lakes. Us already walking around Green Lakes.
All right, I'm going to bring it down here a little bit, but you get a good idea what Teagan does, and she's off to a great start. I mean, that's big time right there. What you've done, you put together that reel. It shows your talents and you know what you're capable of, and that's just somebody's going to see that and they're going, "We want that girl, we want that young lady. She's perfect." So that's it. Teagan Brown. Wow. It's amazing to chat with you a little bit. Got a great career. You're doing everything from being a journalist and a singer and a broadcaster, TikTok enthusiast, on field for the Syracuse Stallions, a basketball team, and a big fan of country like Morgan Wallen. So it's pretty cool. Well, we can go on and on. She's a hostess at a local restaurant. She does this. She does blah, 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 blah. I mean, it's just, I ran out of paper. I'm just writing all this down. But Teagan, you're pretty awesome.
Thank you so much.
Wait a minute. Wait. I'm sorry. I didn't hear you. There you go. You're pretty awesome.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
I got you now. I forgot to turn the thing up here. I'm like blown away by how talented you are.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks for taking the time to come on with us here tonight and just kind of chat about life in general and what you're doing, and found out that we're neighbors and we had no idea. And just a junior at Newhouse, SU. And just wonderful. Thanks for doing that. Justin, anything you want to add?
I just think you have so much going for you, and you're getting involved with all the right things at the right time. And, you know, for just a junior at SU, man, you have got a lot on your resume. You've got a lot of passion for this community, and you're going to be going places. And you should be thrilled about your work so far. You should definitely keep proving the naysayers wrong if you get any flack whatsoever, which I hope you don't. And I cannot wait to see where you go in your career. I mean, you're a remarkable person. And I think you've got a lot going for you. And I'm very excited to see what happens with Teagan in the next couple of years.
You know, the naysayers, that's okay. Because when you get something negative, you can build off that even, you know, I've been doing radio a long time, and there's a lot of naysayers out there, and there's a lot of people that think they know everything and they want it, you know, they're critiquing everything you do. But you know what? You build to be a better person off of that. And it's okay. You don't like me. I don't care. What can I do better? So you just, you know, but that's a part of life. You already know that. So
Exactly. I've learned if somebody says you can't do something, prove them entirely wrong and then show them.
Exactly. Teagan Brown, everybody. Thanks for coming on Skip Happens tonight. And, subscribe. Just go on YouTube, click on the little subscribe button. You'll see it if you watch this back. It's down in the, if you're looking at your screen, it'll be the lower right-hand corner. So, Teagan, have a great night. Thanks for joining us tonight. Hold on, okay?
All right.